Okay. That was pretty good. Just making some sky poke through. Oh yeah, I gotta go to that look? Is that right? Just gonna step back, take a look. I think it might be nice to have maybe like the sky be like coming through here, but a darker blue, and comes lighter as the sky is higher up. So I'll come in with this deeper blue, and I just like how it contrasts with the orange. It's kind of nice. Just sort of dab it around here and there. A little bit of sky poking through, and then maybe I'll add some of that blue down here. Why not? It's kind of a nice blue. A little bit of something over here. I like this blue. Oh, it's a different one, but here, this is more of a deeper purple. That's phthalo blue. But I was using cerulean blue with white. So I'm going to go put some straight up of this cerulean blue here, and I'm going to put on top of this other blue that is very similar. So it's kind of one of those things where you don't notice unless you get really close to the painting. Then I'm going to take this, what was it, a phthalo blue? Oh, it's very purpley. Well, actually, it's not that purple. Huh. It looks, where's the camera? Yeah, it looks purple on the palette, but as soon as I mix it with the white, it shows its true color, which is this rich ultramarine kind of blue. Let's see how it looks. Yeah. So it's a little bit different than the cerulean blue, and I'll just add some marks here. Some little, just sort of tickle it a little bit. I just said tickle. That sounds very weird. Okay. I want to sort of have some consistency with the thickness. Okay, actually, yeah, I think it'd look nice if it's here. Yeah, I like that. Get a little bit more depth into this background. I've been wanting to paint the past couple of days, but I just couldn't get myself to do it. I have to work myself up to the painting, because it's kind of a weird thing, but it really does drain me in a way. I'm actually kind of used to painting in much longer sessions. Like normally, well, what's normal? But these days, I feel like I can only go for like an hour. Then I have to like seriously take a nap. But I remember in the past, I could go for like 6 to 8 hours, and when there wouldn't be anything. I'm not sure if it's because I'm getting older, or I kind of feel pressure because I'm doing this live streaming stuff, which is really not super comfortable. I like being alone, but I'm trying to do this, you know, trying to do this live streaming idea as a way to push myself. So it kind of like, I think, you know, something about it, I feel like I have to somehow perform differently. It's kind of a weird thing. I'm not saying it's bad. It's different, and definitely takes a different kind of energy from me. I think the difference is in my normal art mode, I would definitely be alone. I would probably be in my bedroom. This sounds like an angst-filled teenager, but I'd be listening to music, and I would just be doing whatever, and I would just, you know, just going with the flow. But this is kind of different. There's a bit of a, in the back of my head, there's people here. Oh, hi Lisa. I wish I was that talented at all. I don't know, man. You know, just trick for me is just not think about it too much, and don't care what people think. Just do it. But also remember, I think, you know, I've been doing this my entire life since I was a young child. I was always doing art, very, very young, like 4 or 5 years old. And it's my one thing, I guess. And then, well, I know Lindo means beautiful, so I'm guessing how beautiful. Querin Laura Leonardo, thank you. And then Rick Steen gives me a 5. I could just, you know, I've got my I've got an iPad. Wait, I've got an iPad right here, and it's got my webpage up so I can see if someone wants to say something. All right, so what the hell was I doing? Oh yeah, painting in some blue stuff. All right. Okay. One thing is I recommend if you ever do painting, you always have to step back. So I'm going to go back. My usual thing is I feel like 10, 15, 20 feet is about right. So if you've got the space, go back as far as you can and try to get a sense of the composition overall. I guess it depends on how big it is. So I like to paint larger. This one's only 40 by 30, but still it's big enough that you can't see the whole composition unless you're a good 15 feet away. If you're working on something small, here, I'll show you small. Look at this cute little canvas. Look at this little guy. It's probably 8 by 12. So of course, you know, you could be right here and see the whole composition. All right, so I'm going to go back in over the blue bits and add some straight white, and I'm going to try to make different brush strokes so it's a bit more variety. And I learned that from looking at a lot of Group of 7 paintings, probably mostly Tom Thompson. He's by far the best. He's like, for me, he's a Canadian Van Gogh. His stuff is just magical. You know what I mean? Like the same way Van Gogh's work is magical, and some other artist stuff is, you could say, is magical. Tom Thompson had that. So I think all the time, like every time I'm doing little brush strokes, I'm constantly reminded of the little art strokes that they did. So you could definitely say I'm influenced by some of those guys. All right. Wish I could paint so well. Screw it. That was for Cheryl. I had to just go for it. maybe it's just easier said than done, but part of my, I think, part of my my abilities come from, I have weird total confidence in this. This is one area of my life where I just feel I just can't make a mistake. I just, even mistakes I can fix. And I think that's the other part, is because there's no rules. I'll tell you the part of the story. I was able to articulate how I feel about it when I was about 16. I was just talking to my dad about this recently. Somehow I got a hold of Risky Business, the movie with Tom Cruise. All right. And if you haven't seen it, he's like this really uptight, rich kid who's guaranteed to go to an Ivy League school. It's played by Tom Cruise. I don't know if I just said that. Anyhow, he gets involved. One of his friends, who's very smart and also guaranteed to get into the Ivy League, they end up getting involved with prostitute somehow, and he has a relationship with her, and the movie is all about, it ends with, I think the guy's name is Miles, I think the friend. Tom Cruise puts on his sunglasses at the very end of the movie and says, sometimes you have to say, what the fuck? And I think that really clicked for me. And what he means is sometimes you just have to say, just don't worry, and just do. And just go for it and don't stress about stuff. Because that movie was all about him stressing about doing the right thing all the time. And life would let you go by. So with painting, I immediately knew that was like my philosophy when it came to like art, and probably other parts of my life, is I just say, you know, what the fuck, let's go for it. But I think it should be precluded with the idea that you already are working very hard. So you're not like lazy. It's a reminder for people who are very conscientious, or work very hard, to remember that, you know, life isn't all about work. So that's the caveat to that philosophy, is that you can't take life too seriously. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, one of your favorite movies too, eh? I haven't seen it in so many years. Guido the Killer Pimp. Remember that guy? Okay, I'm just gonna have a quick drink. All right. I don't know if you can see this that well. Oops. What happened to my camera? Oh, let me just fix this bad boy. Hold on. I don't know how that tilted. Okay. Okay. All right. So, I want to go in now and make this feel a bit more like some canopies of leaves, because right now they just feel like actually some dots on the camera, which is, I mean, on the painting, which is what I did. Okay. So, get a new brush. Oh, yeah. Got a couple brushes here I might use. Two things. One, I think I'm going to work on the trees, because the brush strokes they're all right, but not great. I might go back and refine some of these lines, but let's just work on the orange tree. So I think I'll use this brush, and I'm going to go straight from the tube. No, I think I needed a lighter color. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna take, I need to make a color. Okay, so that orange. Come on, baby. There we go. Yellow. Okay, so let's make a color. This is not a good mixing brush color, but it's not a good mixing brush because it's so short-haired, but let's see what I can do. Okay, so what I'm aiming for is a kind of very warm light color that will represent like the leaves, the light hitting the top of the trees on a canopy. So we're just gonna have to imagine what that might look like. And it may not work out. Like I started doing that up here. You can sort of see there's like, let's put some bright colors over here. And I think part of my problem right now is yeah, it's kind of a nice light color. There should still be leaves across the whole tree, right? I really am kind of winging it here. I'm sure there probably are thinner branches that are holding these leaves up, and I've kind of omitted them. Oops. So just don't tell anybody. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to go take some photographs. So rather than just kind of like working from memory, it'd be kind of nice to go up north and find some nice spots. I think it's good as an artist to work from memory because it's like, you know, it means it's coming right from you. Because the danger with photographs is always you're just copying a photograph. But you know, sometimes I do need it. Like there might be, like if these paintings are intentionally kind of flat, like there isn't a huge amount of depth, and I know that's because I'm painting from like I'm just creating it as I go, and so it's relying more like on a pattern, and that's kind of intentional. I think it's kind of neat to like to create a pattern and that has its own distinct kind of look. But I guess this is maybe kind of maybe a bit more true to the area, you know, like I'm thinking about just Northern Ontario, Algonquin Park area. That's the place that I really love probably the most, and I've been to hundreds of times because when I grew up, my family used to have a cottage up there, and I'd go up pretty much every weekend I could, up to the age, you know, until they sold it. Definitely one of my favorite places in the world. Okay, Cheryl's saying, I have some paints and canvases downstairs which I intend to use the past 2 years. I think I'll have to get them out now, thank you. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, totally. Just do it. It's always nice to hear. Okay, I'm going to step back in a second and just see how this looks. I'm gonna go step back. Yeah, it's not bad. It is definitely doesn't look like the forest fire that it looked like it was turning into. I definitely have toned that down, even though I think it was still kind of cool. I'm talking about the other Birches with Orange. They were like the first one I had a much more clear realistic kind of feeling. It was the one that was 48 by 72 inches. And then the other ones were smaller, and I just sort of just continued with that general idea of the trees in the forefront and this kind of layered background until I got to this one, which was number 5. And by then it looked just like a raging forest fire coming straight at you. And although I have no problems with that, it wasn't my intention. And so with this one, I'm bringing back a lot of what I did in the first one, which is a lot more of these small brush strokes and where the leaves are coming in front of the trees again. So there you go. That's all I got to say about that. There is something about doing the small patterns that I've kind of always liked. I've always done these lots of dots. Even though my spirit is to be more free, like free-flowing, I think, I've always still been compelled to do these repetitive little dots. And I do remember very young learning about Seurat and his idea of the putting meticulous little dots of how do you describe the colors when they're complementary colors next to each other? Like if you look at his paintings, they're a little insane. They're a little bit too meticulous, and so I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it, the little dots, even though I did them so much. The other artist who I could talk a little bit about, his name is Alex Colville, and to be honest, I really don't like his stuff that much because it's all perfect little dots and it's cold. Like I went to Mount Allison Art School for a year, and he was there, and I remember he even did a mural there. Now I shouldn't be too critical because I think it's still great that someone created something, like that's why I've never been a huge fan of really criticizing artists, fellow artists too much, because you know what? Who the hell are you? You're just, don't judge, I guess. Lest you be judged kind of idea. But with Alex Colville, his stuff is very, again, like Seurat's, more meticulous. He's as meticulous with these tiny little brushstrokes. But everything felt always cold, and that has to do with his color palette and his subject matter. They're very maritime kind of feel, very minimalistic environments, and I feel more inclined with someone like Chagall, who's he's a bit more out there, like he's flowing, and honestly, Chagall is probably one of my favorite painters, and I don't think he was a very good painter. Like, he wasn't technically that good, but he just, I think his stuff is accepted because it was unique and it had its own voice, so you don't have to be, necessarily technically the best, although it kind of helps to prove yourself a little bit. So people who only do abstract stuff and never have done anything else, I think these days it just doesn't impress me as much because abstract has been done a million times already. It's so hard to judge art, isn't it? I usually keep my mouth shut because my opinions, without context, could sound very harsh, and so, and it's not my intention. But yeah, context is very important. Okay. Oops. I like the quiet. Well, it's not really quiet because I have a very loud noise ringing in my ear right now, but it's quiet in general, which is nice. I've always liked peacefulness. Stand back, take a look. I'm gonna bring some really bright whites in here, pretty bright colors. Huh. My mom is here. Hey, Mom. Hi, Mom. That is too funny. Here I am painting away, and my mom is across town and pops up. Mom, you didn't hear it, but I was just talking about Alex Colville. And I know how you like him, but I don't like his stuff. It's too cold. My mom is a very good painter. Aren't you, Mom? My dad always wants her to do more, but she never has time to do it. There's no question I got the painting bug from my mom. And I'm sure a lot of the style. There's a little painting you did, Mom. I think I might actually have it. If not, it's at your house, that I've always liked. It's kind of an abstract painting. Okay. Let's take a step back. So what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of covering up some of these branches because theoretically there should be leaves in front of them. Oops, a little bit of blue hit my brush. Okay, so let's go in with orange here. Maybe, oh yeah, I think this bit of a brown might be good. This, oh, can't tell you what color it is. Yellow ochre. Although, when you look at it, it's quite dark. So you wouldn't think it's yellow. It looks like a light sienna color. But I will make it a bit yellow by adding some white. Add almost a bit of white. So this is yellow ochre here. And what I think I'm going to do is something a little nuts. I'm going to take some of this blue. I'm going to mix it with the yellow ochre. It's a very strong blue. Okay. Because what? Ah, it's too strong. Fuck. Okay, I'll mix it with this orange, see what happens. What I was trying to do is just get a bit more of a darker... Okay, this is turning into a funky green. I think it still might look good. Okay, because there might be, like underneath the canopy, some shadows, right? So maybe what I'll do is I'll just start putting this kind of like... It might be a little bit green for my taste at this point, but I'll just throw it in here and see what happens. I think that it mixes nicely with the colors that are here already. Trying to build up like a, excuse me, like a little base of these darker colors. Yeah, it's too green. So I'm going to bring back that yellow ochre and see if I can get that. Yeah, there we go. God, it's so similar. Okay, let's just start putting some down here, up there. Okay, need a new brush. I'll get this one out, and I'm going to get, ooh, this one is interesting. This is like a, oh, what are you? Raw Sienna Classic. I'll bring some raw sienna right in here, and it might give a bit more sense of depth. So I'm going to now take some brush strokes and pull them across a little bit, just to, because I don't want to have too many straight little dots. So I'm going to take this darkness and just see what happens when I pull it across. Okay, I'm going to step back. Well, I don't know how I feel right now about this. So now I'll do some little just gentle lines going across with a sense of movement a little bit. Just little marks that you're probably not going to notice right away. Just to break it up a bit. I want to say it's done, but god damn it, it's not done. What it needs now is the blasts of white. Okay, I need a new brush. Ah, perfect brush. What I'm going to do is bring the blast of white through. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to bust out the last little bits of white. And I'll probably come in with a bit of darkness on the trees too, because they have those black, not quite like rhomboid shaped, kind of like they have a shape like this. The birch trees have them. And before, I was just making a bunch of random colors, random shapes for the birch bark, which, you know, it was just fun to do, but maybe this time I'll try to be a bit more authentic. Oh, how'd that happen? Look at that. Okay, so let me step back. Well, I can tell you for sure I don't like this. I don't know if I feel like fixing it. I just don't feel like it. Yeah, I'm almost done this. I'm probably painting in your way. Sorry. Okay, I just feel like stopping. I just feel like stopping. Yeah, I think that'll probably do. I don't like this. This really bugs me. What is bugging me about that? It just feels like a bunch of crappy paint. Where's my good orange? Maybe it just needs a little bit of specks of this stuff to pull through. I think it needs a bit more of that yellow. Yeah. Yep, messy hands, that's for sure. Okay. Well, I just want to be done. I just want to be done. Okay. I don't know what you're referring to, Cheryl. I don't know how you did what. But I probably don't know either. Okay. Should we call this painting done? Oops. Are you done painting? Are you finished? Sometimes I gotta just let it rest for a while, come back. All right. Let's just. Oh, I still want to keep going. Damn. I look away and look back and I see something like, you know what? It might look a little nice if I did this, that, or the other. It's weird. I have such a well-regulated internal clock. Like, what time is it? I've been going for how long? 53 minutes. Man, it's almost like to the hour now where my body starts saying, you know what, you're taking a break, pal. You're an old fart now. You need to have a nap. It's almost like it's like creative. I've got the creative juice and it all gets drained out after an hour, and I gotta go chill for a bit. Okay, so why don't we just call this painting done enough for now. All right, I'll just go in a little bit. Just go a little closer. That's as far as my webcam can go. I'll take a picture outside. It looks like it's a little bit overcast, so it might be a good time to take a picture outside. Anyhow, thanks for watching. And I feel like I might have enough juice to work on this painting. Let me just unclip this 1 second. All right. I think I might be ready to tackle this one. It's a bigger painting. That looks like it's about 48 by 60 inches. Yeah. So if I'm up for it, this is what I'm gonna do next. Good old Terry Crews. And yeah, I'll just stop. I'll stop here and see how it goes.